I guess we have heard today's gospel hundreds of times. It is called the Beatitude, which means blissful happiness. Do we feel happy when we hear the gospel? Let us listen to it. Blessed are you who are poor, woe to you who are rich. Would you rather be rich or poor? I've seen poverty, I don't want to be poor. Blessed are you who are hungry, woe to you who are filled. Would you rather feel the pangs of hunger or the satisfaction of a good Italian meal? I remember the first time I tried fasting as a teenager, and I did like 6 to 6. I almost died. I was terribly hungry, so I had to reduce it, I think 6 to 4, and gradually I got used to it. So I know what it means to be hungry. Blessed are you who are weeping, woe to you who laugh. Would you rather cry or laugh? I want to laugh. We can cry tears of joy, but crying every time because of sorrow is not what I want. Blessed are you when people hate you. Woe to you when all speak well of you. Would you rather be hated or spoken well of? Van speaks well of me, so I like that. Right? I'll bet we choose all the woes. And what does this say about us? You know, all the woes are the good things. We want to be rich, we want to be filled, and we want to laugh. What does this say about us? Are we completely out of touch with Jesus? Are we opposed to Jesus? Are we on a completely different path than Jesus? What in the world is this gospel all about? Because Jesus said, blessed are those who are hungry, blessed are those who cry, blessed are those who are poor. What is this gospel about? The Beatitude can be interpreted in more than one way. I will give you one interpretation that rings true for me. First, we do not interpret the Beatitudes literally, which means the word means exactly what they say, nothing more, nothing less. If we interpret literally, then we have to come to the following conclusions. The poor person who is hungry and cries most of the time and who is hated is the blessed one close to God. The rich person who has plenty to eat, who is generally in good humor, and who is spoken well of, is the cursed one far from God. Does this make sense? I don't think so. What kind of God does this teach us? A God who enjoys seeing us suffer, or who wants us to be sad and deprived of the necessities of life? Does this ring true? I thought Jesus came to teach us about a God who loves us beyond our widest dream, a God who is our Father and has adopted us as his own children. We cannot take today's gospel literally and make it the beginning and end of Jesus' revelation of God. We must place it in the context of the whole gospel, which means that there must be more to it. What is the more to it? We find it in the first reading. Jeremiah says, "Cursed is the person who trusts in human beings and who seeks his strength in flesh. Blessed is the person who trusts in the Lord, whose hope is the Lord. It is not by accident that the church put this reading before the gospel. It gives us a key to understanding these strange sounding Beatitudes. They are about our relationship with God. The poor and hungry are those people who know they have nothing of themselves which entitles them to God's love and salvation. They stand before God as the have-nots, and therefore they trust only in God, not in themselves. Those who are rich and full stand before God in a different way. They are confident of themselves, they trust in themselves and their accomplishments. They say, hey, God, look at all my prayers and good works and good deeds. Look at my virtues. Look at all the effort I'm putting to please you. Filled with their own goodness, they said, and they feel that they deserve to be saved. They are the haves. But Jeremiah reminds the haves, the rich and those who are full of themselves, that when they trust in themselves and find strength in themselves, they are cursed. And Jeremiah reminds the have-nots, that is, those of us who are poor and hungry and needy, that because their trust and hope are in the Lord, they are blessed. Today's gospel calls us to move from being rich to being poor in spirit, from being filled to emptiness, humility. Our gospel really is a happy one because now we can trust God rather than ourselves. Imagine the scene of your judgment. As you stand before Jesus, would you rather trust in yourself and say to Jesus, Jesus, look, I have worked so hard and have done all these good things? Or would you rather trust in God's love for you, which has saved you? And then you may want to say to Jesus, Jesus, what can I say but thank you? Thank you. I could never deserve you or eternal happiness. So, all I can say is thank you. Today's gospel invites us, brothers and sisters, to embrace humility, to trust more in God than we trust in ourselves. That it is God who can help us overcome our struggles. It is God who gives us everything that we have. When we become so full of ourselves, we become empty of God and of His grace.